Hey guys, James here from TCG University, coming back at you with another deck profile. I'm here showing off my WiXoss deck that I play for the Dallas WiXoss GP. I got 10th place. I was the best Tama at the event, and just missed top 8 with a 5-2 record. So I played Tama. I played Mel and Umer. I'm gonna do it like this and then just talk about them as we go. Obviously, going into it, we played the normal Tama line. Cool girl, she restands, swings a bunch, real neat combos. We played Umer draw and then Umer clear, more kind of just staple stuff for this deck right now. This weekend, Umer draw draws you two, and then Umer clear, freezing the opponent's rig was pretty good most of the weekend. But the main thing I loved this weekend was the discard ability, because in combo when we get to it, the piece chaos. I just milled my opponents out multiple games is how I pushed for game. Was I milled them out by Umer clearing them and then chaosing to mill their damage. So like super strong when you're getting to mill your opponent for like almost like 17 cards in one turn. We played Mel Revise for color fixing because we're playing Chaos, so we need the black and we need the green for Mel level 2 Invisible, which is just our triple stop. We played Zeno because BA likes to discard cards, and Zeno's a good counter to that. And because of the color fixing, we kind of get worried about Love It Desona, which is the other main deck of the format, which is Nanashi. And this kind of gets ahead of that, but honestly, this is a little behind for that, so it's more just like the middle part of the deck. And then Chaos. Chaos is the main change of the deck from this format. It costs 1 black, 1 white, so we have to color fix, which is why Mel Invisible is important, also for her own green the Mel Invisible. You get to do one of 4 things, or you get 2 of 3 things. You get to add up to 3 target signy from your discard pile to your hand. You get to neg 2 of your opponent's signy by 10k, which is very cool with some of our combos I'll talk about later. And then we get to mill our opponent for 10 cards, and then for their next entire turn, if for whatever reason this doesn't mill them out, that's mostly how I use it all weekend, but if it doesn't mill them out, they're not allowed to touch their discard pile, basically. And that's very strong, especially in a format where we kind of shuffle cards around like Mel Invisible, and we pick up and Hedonims and Umers and all that stuff. Just can't happen, and which is very strong. So I'll keep this here so we have it for later, and I'll swoop these off. Whoop. Okay. So, obligatory 4 servants. I only have one of the cool sign one. Sucks. But we'll find 3 more. And then going into our lineup, we played 4 Lepus. Lepus is just a 5k 1-drop. We played 3 Sarah. I'm not even going to try and pronounce the rest of her name. 2434. She is our black color for our Chaos. She's just a 1-drop 5k. And then Triumph. It's on screen. Okay, Triumph is our green for our Mel. She is also just a 1-drop 5k. 1-drop 5ks are very strong right now because Blue Archive, I said Blue Exorcist. Blue Archive can't get over our 5ks, but they can get bigger, so we have bad times going on the other end. But they can't get over, so they're not allowed to push. And the main Desona cards only hit 3ks and less, so we don't have to worry too much about that, but we do get comboed out late game versus the Nanashi deck because they get both their 3ks and the cool spots. And then we played 2 other level 1s. We're playing 2 Yuki Memoria. I mainly wanted this card in the deck for Bang, because Bang's Shadow is annoying. And there's no way for this deck to kind of get around that Bang without triggering something late game or just avoiding it all game and just not caring. So I wanted a way to hit it, and this is also just generically just good to either move things if you need to or to just blank something. Which is pretty good in the Blue Archive matchup, but you don't really swing into things. Next, I'll talk about the other stuff. This is where we'll talk about Chaos a little bit more. Flashcards and 3 over Pursuit. Flashcards first. If you have 3 white signy on your board, pay 1, bounce a 3k back to their hand. And then over Pursuit, which is pay 1, bounce a level 1 back to their hand. And if you have 3 white signy, you intercharge, so you kind of just play for free. That one we're kind of done talking about. Flashcards is real cool because she just says hit a 3k. So like for matches where your opponent has 12ks, you can neg them 10, drop them to a 2, and then use flashcards to add it back to their hand and get your spot clear, which I use multiple times this weekend. It's very cool at pushing late game and makes flashcards very very usable late game instead of being a deck card. And then we're playing 2 Darkness 7. This is I really like this card in this deck, especially with flashcards. I'll take flashcards away so we're clear on the board. But Darkness 7 is a 0 cost card that just says you neg your opponent for its 3k, right? Or 2k. You neg something 2k, so you can neg a 5k down to a 3k, so your flashcards can add it. But late game, you can exceed 7 and neg something 8, and that puts 10ks inside of the flashcard range as well. It's very good at just trying to figure out ways to push, as well as just getting a decent board clear if you need it late game. And then on to a couple of other things. We're playing one Orochimaru. We have a lot of. I just wanted a way to like clear some things off late game. Going into this tournament, I just didn't have a lot of late game push on one of the Orochimaru because if I needed to, it can also pick up a guard. I honestly, this card didn't do anything all weekend. Never really saw it. Didn't really play anything. But the deck definitely needs more late game push because it doesn't have enough clearing space, so it sometimes kind of just peters out. We're playing 2 Quella. I actually think this card's very good this format, especially with things like the Blue Archive that says give something 10k. The Asaza that says, not Asaza, the Asaza deck really that says your dudes get plus 4k. That's a continuous ability you can blank off that you don't have to worry about. It's really good at just being able to make sure you kind of hold board state, as well as it's also a searcher and a draw card, which is a top check and a draw card, which this deck kind of needs late game. Whoop, dropped a card. We are playing 2 Picture Frame and 2 Koime. Picture Frame says it gets 4k on your opponent's turn if it's standing, so it becomes a 12k. Works really cool in conjunction with Exia because Exia restands everything. When an Elrig on your field attacks, you get to ready one of your Signy, which is very, very strong with our once per game to restand our dudes and get to push. And then Koime gives us another copy of our Elrig, which in certain scenarios can let you swing 3 times instead of 2 with Tama, though you do have to pay 4 for the turn. But having both these on the board means you can attack 3 times with Tama, which is very, very, very fun. I didn't really use it all weekend. I did use Picture Frame to be able to push and restand, so that way Tama could still get her restand. But I never really used the Koime combo, which happens, but sucks a little bit. Then we played 2 Kurisan. I really enjoy this card, especially for what our late game is right now, which is Exia and Remember. Exia and Remember just want to stay on board and stay controlled. And Kurisan says if they leave the board and get vanished, you can just put them right back out, which means your opponent has to spend a lot, especially on Exia. It is very cool with Exia because of her thing, because she leaves, gets her cool target to where you block a lane, and then she comes back out. So your opponent has to either just ignore her and never do anything for the turn, or has to find a way to get her off, blank her, and get her off the board. Obviously, Exia is very good control piece, and Remember says we can push late game and make our opponent pay 1 extra guard, which is very, very helpful, especially in a restand deck. And then Exia says, should talk about it. Exia says that if a card on our Signy on our board is targeted by our opponent's ability, we can choose a lane, and then our opponent is not allowed to attack in that lane, which is very, very good for us because we want to take less damage, but it's also very strong in the sense of a lot of our bursts like to say up Signy. So if we block a zone and somebody swings into and hits a burst, we can bounce their up Signy back to their hand or trash, whatever it may be. But I had a really fun event. I had a really fun time at the event. I went 5-2. I played 3 Nanashi, 1 Asaza, a Musica, a Miko, and a Yuzuki. My 2 losses were to Nanashi, and all 3 of the Nanashis I played made top cuts. It was a super fun thing. But I really enjoyed the deck. I think the deck needs some sort of better top end, or at least board clearing top end that doesn't rely all on Tama and all on Chaos. But other than that, let me know what you guys think of the deck down below. Let me know if you have any questions about it, what kind of things you guys are fooling around with this character. And as always, guys, stay alert.